Dattatreya's teachings to Kartaviryarjuna. Lord Dattatreya looked at Kartaviryarjuna with eyes filled with love and compassion. He made Karta to sit beside him and said, "You were enthused to know about Dharma, and hence I have perorated the same. Now that you wish to know the path of liberation, I shall orate the same. There are 8 supernatural powers called Yoga Siddhis, such as Anima, ability to reduce the size of the body; Mahima, ability to assume a gigantic form; Garima, ability to become very heavy; Laghima, ability to become very light; Prapti, ability to acquire anything anywhere; Prakamya, ability to obtain anything desired; ability to have realized the dreams; Ishitva, the power of absolute lordship over entire creation; Vashitva, the ability to have everything under control, especially the physical manifestation made up of 5 elements. Unfortunately, all the above can be attained temporarily. In other words, they are not eternal. I shall bestow the siddhis that are persistent and do not dwindle. I shall preach the interminable and inexhaustible quintessence of my nature that can liberate you from the dualities. In fact, the words such as Buddha and Mukta are meaningless, since dual words do not exist and only a single entity is existent, and it is devoid of name, place, time, space, thoughts, and structure. It is infinite, peerless, causeless, aimless, formless, ceaseless, and shelterless. To this single entity, certain people have contrived a name and physical appearance out of misapprehension and preached about the soul and its attributes. Friends, Dattatreya is saying that these 8 supernatural powers are going to perish. They are not permanent. To make one's body light or to make one's body heavy, these are all very difficult. We need to have lot of energies to perform all these. However, in spite of that, Dattatreya is saying that they are just temporary. And time and again he is saying that there is only a single entity that is existing, which is peerless, causeless, aimless, formless, ceaseless, and shelterless. And it is also devoid of name, place, time, space, thoughts, and structure. And that is nothing but Atma. So, Dattatreya is saying Kartaviryarjuna that I am going to teach you about the soul and its concepts, which is existent in the universe permanently. Rest everything is just temporary. In fact, the soul is bereft of name and structure. It is a mere hallucination and boneheadedness to derive nomenclature and a particular structure to the soul. However, it is impossible to impart the knowledge about soul without naming and providing a form to it. Indeed, there are 6 entities that neither have the beginning nor end. They are creature, Brahma, intellect, ignorance, difference between the human and Isha, and yoga to liquidate the benightedness. The entire world is created out of nesides. When benightedness is absent, it can be realized that dualities are fictional, But without dualities, it is not possible to realize the Parabrahma. So, friends, though Lord Dattatreya is saying that we have to be beyond the dualities, he is also giving equal importance to the dualities, because if the dualities are not present, we cannot realize the Parabrahman. That is what he is saying. If bad is present, then only we can know the value of good, right? So, if dualities are present, then only we can know the value of oneness. To know the value of oneness, the dualities have to be there. And that is why this universe has taken its form with all the dualities. However, it is our duty to overcome those dualities and reach the oneness. So here, friends, if you can observe from the beginning, Dattatreya is giving importance to each and every bit of the universe. It could be negative or it could be a positive. Here, he is also giving importance to nescience, that is ignorance. See, if ignorance is present, we can know the value of wisdom. That is why he is giving importance to ignorance too. So, he is giving importance to each and every entity, because all these entities are helping us to realize the Parabrahman. So they are all important. So please don't hate anything in this universe, including your anger, even if you're jealous, even if you have some immoral qualities. Please do not hate them. Or if you find immoral qualities in a person, please don't hate that person. Because of those immoral qualities, we are able to differentiate the goodness, right? If that is not present, if the immoral qualities are not present, we would never know what is goodness. That is what he's saying, that because of the dualities, we are able to realize the Parabrahman. Since there are dualities, we know what is oneness. If dualities were not there, we wouldn't know what is oneness. So he's giving importance to everything, friends. So please do not hate anything. The nomenclature as well as the structure helps in describing the divine attributes of Nirgun, one who does not possess a particular character or attributes. That is Nirguna Parabrahma. In fact, Parabrahman is the absolute truth, and myriads of names are given to Parabrahma, such as Atishwar, Paramatma, Vaidya, Vishnu, Shiva, Chaturmukha, Sadashiva, Agni, Indira, Param, Swarat, Virat, Akshar, Pran, Ishan, Savita, Vibhu, Narayana, Rishikesha, Deva, Shambhu, Sharva, Kavi, Daksha, Prajapati, Prabhu, Hari, Data, Vidhata, Guru, Gamya, Tripat, Yama, Koal, Agamakarta, Idya Jivana, Mrityu, Amaya Yagna, Ijya, Yaju, Dharma, Nidhan, Bija, Avyaya, etc. So these are the different names that are given to Parabrahman. We can choose any of the name. Mahapati, that which is seen, heard, thought and created, is merely the Parabrahma. So look here, friends, this sentence has a inner meaning. If we can observe, or if we can if we can give the importance to the words that are mentioned here, it has got an intense meaning. That which is seen, whatever we see. That which is heard, whatever we hear. That which is thought, whatever we think. And that which is created, since we think something is created, right? So whatever is created is merely the Parabrahma. So what the things we see, the voices that we listen to, or the matter or any subject we listen to, the thoughts we have, and the creation of the thoughts, everything is Parabrahma. Here he did not mention whether it is good thoughts, bad thoughts, positive thoughts, negative thoughts, whether you're seeing the good things, whether you're seeing the bad things, whether you're listening to good words, whether you're listening to bad words. He did not mention anything here, friends. So we have to understand that he did not differentiate between the good and bad. He is only saying that whatever you see, suppose I'm looking at a wall, yes, that is Parabrahma. I'm listening to some music, yes, that is Parabrahma. We should be having this kind of reciprocation towards each thing that we are doing, friends. Like if you are seeing something, do not analyze it, do not judge it. Please do not judge anything. When you know that everything is Parabrahma, there is no option for judgment, friends. As simple as that. So from today onwards, whatever you see, you just believe that it is Parabrahma. Whatever you're listening to, even if somebody is shouting at you, yes, it is Parabrahma. That sound is Parabrahma. The person who is shouting at me is Parabrahma. And then if you get those thoughts, if you get any kind of thoughts, whether it could be positive, whether it could be negative, yes, this is Parabrahma. Actually, we have to cultivate this practice, friends. Otherwise, it becomes very, very difficult to reach the oneness. Trust me, it's not easy to reach the oneness until we are in this dual nature. Arjuna, you were dubious to know about whom I meditate upon, since I am all in all. In reality, I meditate upon the Atma that is permeated through the entire cosmos. See, friends, though the Dattatreya is an enlightened being, though he is existing as the consciousness in the entire universe, he is yet meditating on the soul. Now you can know the importance of the soul. Also the importance of meditation, why we should meditate on our soul. I hope now you have known the importance. Lord Dattatreya himself is meditating on Atma. So how about us, friends? Just think over it. In order to eliminate the complexity of teachings, certain names are declared for illusion. They are Maya, that is illusion, Avidya, benightedness, Para, other, Devi, goddess, Manas, mind, Anadi, eternal, Brahm, hallucination, Pradhan, primary, Prakriti, nature, Avyayam, inexhaustible, Vipram, chimera, Shakti, power, Karanam, reason, Agnan, ignorance, Adhyasa, without being obsessed, Moha, fascination, Paraswapa, trance, Tapas, austerity. These are the prime factors for obtaining the wisdom. So, here they have given a list, a lengthy list, and these are responsible for obtaining the wisdom. Moha or fascination, Mahamoham, fascination in higher order, Tamishram, darkness, Andhatamishra or related to incognizance. The scholars enunciate that wisdom can blot out obliviousness, and hence wisdom is the other name for Karyatmaka moksham, that is fascination related to actions. There are two kinds of powers called Vikshepa, that is deflection, and Avaran, enclosure, that are responsible for gaining knowledge. The one that partitions the happiness is Vikshepa, and that which is enmeshed in Shiva is Avaran. The difference between Isha, that is Shiva, and the being, that is Jiva, is very simple. The one who is beyond Maya is Isha, and the one who is entangled by Maya is the being. Shiva dances out of ecstasy while the being is ensnared by excruciation. So, a simple difference lies between Isha and Jiva. Isha is the one who is beyond Maya, and Jiva is the one who is entangled by Maya. Parabrahma reflects as the universe, beings, and Ishwar. In order to extirpate such Maya, Vedas have imagined a creation, and the Daltish people have trusted that it is the absolute truth. The key solution to expunge their unfamiliarity is to realize that the soul is an individual entity, appearing in multitudinous forms. Nevertheless, Agnani perceives that the entire creation is merely a dream that shatters. So, here Dattatreya is saying that Parabrahma himself reflects as the universe, beings, and also Ishwar. Here Dattatreya is saying that Parabrahma himself reflects as the universe, beings, and Ishwar. But the Daltish people assume that the universe is real. In fact, it is Maya, but they assume that it is real. However, Agnani, he perceives that the entire universe is just a dream that shatters one day or the other. When wishes are asked in dreams, they shall be fulfilled. Similarly, though the universe is untruth, it appears to be an absolute truth. Then, how to engross the nature of the universe? I shall disseminate the method. Listen. So, Dattatreya himself is questioning us that though the universe is untruth, how to know the nature of the universe? The desire to obtain certain thing manifests the unawareness. Ergo, the desire should be abolished. For instance, sometimes the shell may appear as a boolean due to hallucination, and if we possess the required knowledge about a boolean, we can decimate the phantasm about a shell being appeared as a boolean. This is the prominent way to annihilate the hallucination. That is, he is saying that to have a proper knowledge about anything that we see, hear, or do will eliminate the hallucination or Maya. That is, we need to have that kind of wisdom to differentiate the real and artificial ones, or to differentiate the Maya. The universe never existed before. It does not come into existence neither at this moment nor in near future. The one who realizes that the universe is a mere Maya shall be relieved from uncertainty. However, if you believe that the universe is existing, then you are compelled to perform your duties arduously by leaving the fruits at the feet of Lord. So, Dattatreya is clearly mentioning that if you consider that this universe is real, then you have to perform your karma meticulously without expecting the fruits, or you can leave the fruits at the feet of the Lord. On contrary, if you assume that the universe is not existing and it is just Maya, then you need not perform any karma. But be aware that you never indulge in immortality and promiscuity. Train your mind to get entailed in bhakti so that you become pristine, and from then onwards you begin to contemplate that the universe is a mere delusion and an ad interim abode. So he's giving a trick for us. See, if you consider that the universe is not real, okay, you perform karma, but he's warning us not to get entangled in the immorality. That means we have to be pure and we have to follow the path of bhakti so that we will know eventually we will know that the universe is just Maya and it is just a temporary abode. Yes, friends, every one of us are coming to this universe to learn certain lessons. That's it. A devotee of a guru as well as God assimilates my teachings, while others may be confounded. To exterminate the illusory world from the mind is an exclusive way to achieve nirvana. Nirvana means the beatitude that transcends the cycle of reincarnation, for which it is incumbent upon you to receive the blessings of the Guru. So if we want to achieve nirvana, then everything depends on us, friends. Like, it is solely depend upon us to receive the blessings from the Guru to achieve nirvana. So he's saying that I will just tell you what you have to do. Rest is dependent on you. Everything is dependent on you. Scientists have demonstrated the evolution in the following sequence. Paramatma is Sadanand, that is eternal bliss, while Purusha or human is Avritanand, that is partially happy. Hence the world is being viewed as a separate body by him. From the entity called Brahma, inexplicitness has evolved, and from inexplicitness, greatness, from greatness, the ego, and from ego, 5 molecules, and from these 5 molecules, 5 elements have evolved. Then the senses, their respective gods, and the mind have come into existence. Later, the entire creation is being created. However, since the creation is a figment of imagination, it is not mandatory that it has been created sequentially. Further, it is believed that the universe was created through the sky, while few people propagate that fire element created the entire universe. The creation obliterates itself and penetrates into the source through which it has come into existence. But Atmagnani manifests everything through himself and realizes that Parabrahma is eternal. Hence, Arjuna, the universe is a phantasmagoria, while Atma is an absolute truth. Jagan Mithya Brahma Satyam. Kartaviryarjuna was immersed in listening to Lord Dattatreya. He acknowledged thus, Dayanidhi, the lenient one, Dattatreya Deva, I am ever grateful for your beneficence. My heartfelt gratitude to your lotus feet for imparting the knowledge about nature of soul. My dubiousness has quelled in a trice. Lord, now that you have made me to endure eternal bliss, please elucidate the method of retaining it without any mental aberrations. Lord reciprocated as, Arjuna, Your mind has attained immaculacy and you're uncaged from the secular concerns. Ergo, you could imbibe the moral principles taught by me and became a mumukshu, the one who is in seek of liberation. Since you have transcended the dualities, I shall preach you about the sadhana to attain Brahma Sakshatkara, that is, realizing or actualizing the truth. Listen carefully. Friends, even Kartavirya got enlightened, though he was blessed with number of boons, though he ruled the earth for 75,000 years. He was not satisfied with what he had, and hence he wanted to know how to attain liberation. So, through the teachings of Lord Dattatreya, he got enlightened. The initial step to become liberated is to seek refuge in a guru and follow the three principles, that is Shravanam, listening, Mananam, continuous reflection of what is heard, and Nididhyasam, deeper contemplation or meditation that should ultimately lead to Brahma Sakshatkara. So, if we want to get liberated, the first step is that we have to seek refuge in a guru. And then we should follow the Shravanam, that is, whatever the Guru says, we have to listen to it attentively. And then Mananam, we have to continuously think over what is told to us by the Guru. And Nididhyasana, deeper contemplation or meditation. And then we have to meditate. These steps apply to any kind of education, specifically to spiritual education, without which the realization remains unachieved. Friends, even if we are writing an exam or if we are going to a college or school, we actually listen to what teachers say, right, while we are in the class. And once we come home, we actually continuously we will remember whatever the teacher has told to us, and then we write the exams. The same kind of steps are there for the spiritual practitioners also. Later, the compassionate Guru preaches about Tattvamasi. Emphasizing on the same is called Shravana. Shravanam means to listen with attention. Listen to whom? Listen to the people who realize the Parabrahma. Listen to their words with absolute attention in absolute silence, without missing a single pause, gesture, tone, feel, and expression. This is how we have to listen to our Guru when he is educating us about the spiritual matters. The meaning of Tattvamasi can be explicated as follows. Tat is Brahma, Tvam is Jiva, and the conjugation of Brahma and Jiva is Asi. Brahma is devoid of sansar, while Jiva is entrapped in sansar. In that case, how could they conjugate? So here, in the word called, that is in a phrase called Tattvamasi, Tat is Brahma, Tvam is Jiva, that is you, and the conjugation of Brahma and Jiva is Asi. But here they are saying that Brahma is actually devoid of sansar, while Jiva is entrapped in sansar. So how could they unite? For instance, you have described a person called Dattapuran in his prime age, and when you meet the same person in his ripe old age, you shall recognize him as Dattatreya by disregarding his age and the place. In the same manner, you have to identify the Brahma as well as Jiva. So they have given a best example, friends. Suppose you have seen your friend, like your childhood friend, after 30 to 40 years, then you would remember your friend. I suppose your friend's name is, say, Chaitu. Then you'll remember Chaitu as like a friend with those characteristics and all. You will disregard his physical appearance, right? Because you're seeing him after 30 years, which means he would have changed a lot. His physique would have changed a lot. However, you will not consider those characteristics. You will only consider that Chaitu, that is his inner being. You're going to consider his inner being and you're disregarding the outer being. And you're considering the inner being. So, in the same way, you have to we have to consider Brahma as well as Shiva, because the inner being of Brahma is same as the inner being of Jiva. The word Tvam denotes the Jiva or Sansari who is engrossed in Maya, due to which his assumption is that he is the doer, consumer, sufferer, and a committed hedonist. In reality, Parabrahma is denoted as Sansari. The word Tat typifies Shiva, which means Parabrahma, riveted by Maya, transforms into Shiva while creating the universe. Hence, Tat is divided into two parts, namely Parabrahma, the ultimate aim, and Parabrahma, which is a denotion of Parabrahma. However, the base for the above two is Parabrahma. Consequently, Jiva and Shiva are commingled, and accordingly Tat, that is that, Tvam, you, Asi, you are, literally means you are that. Hence you are the Brahma and Brahma is yourself. Jiva and Brahma should not be discriminated. So, a powerful sentence, friends. We should not discriminate between us and Brahma, because we are the Brahma himself and Brahma is the Jiva. So, Tattvamasi is like you are that, which means you are the Brahma. Because though we are involved in samsara, though we are stuck in Maya, and though Brahma is not entangled by Maya, but the inner being of Brahma is same as the inner being of Jiva. So both are akin. Hence they are saying that you are that. Tattvamasi. Though your outer characteristics are different from each other, the inner being is same. When Tvam, that is you, is deprived of agony, it becomes Tat, that is that. In other words, you become the Brahma. So, if we are, if the agony and then the jealousy, the anger, everything, if everything is under balanced conditions, then we become the Brahma himself. Nevertheless, people with imprudence fail to comprehend that they are the embodiments of Parabrahma. However, people with ignorance, they fail to realize that they are the Parabrahmas themselves. Even me, I've been doing meditation since many years. But before I came into meditation, I used to consider myself separate from Dattatreya or Parabrahma or Paramatma, whatever the name we can give. So, as I started doing meditation, and then this Dattapuranam is such a wonderful book that it covers each and every topic. So, as I started doing meditation, I could realize that God is residing within me. He is abiding within me. He is nowhere else. But before, when I did not start meditation, I used to think that God is residing somewhere else in the skies, in the space and all. So once I started doing meditation slowly, it will not happen in one day, but it takes time. So slowly I could realize that yes, God is within me. God is abiding in every atom of this universe. But still, you know, I had certain traces like I don't like this person, I don't like that person. So this way I had lot of differentiations also, though I knew that God is residing in me. And later on, I started thinking like, if God is residing in that person is Parabrahma himself, which means I should not have any opinion about that person. See, we won't have any opinions about Parabrahma, right? In that case, how can we judge that person? So I started thinking this way. So gradually, I started loving each and every person as they are. Like I did not have any judgments. So this way, slowly, it will take long time to practice all these things. However, we should start practicing. We should make use of time and practice these things if we want to reach oneness. So slowly it will definitely happen. There are totally 6 guidelines to understand the summary of Vedas. In Shastras, the topic of introduction is similar to the topic of conclusion. In the introduction, similar topic is explicated for numerous times, and this is called as Abhyas. If the details of a particular topic have to be learnt from a specific Shastra, and if it is deprived of proper justification, then it is called as Apurvata, incompleteness. The fourth one is the fruits obtained once the lack of knowledge is been quelled. A high encomium on the novelty and dignity of the subject of Vedas is called Arthavadam. The discussion about the Shastras to form a conclusion is called Upapati. Once Shravanam is completed, Mananam is the next one, which means trying to reflect uninterruptedly on what has been heard, trying to understand not only the superficial meaning but deeper meaning, and also trying to perceive what is said without being said, reading in between the lines. As great beings do not say anything directly to any person, it is left to us to understand and make the necessary amends. So, Dattatreya gave us 3 steps, right, friends? That is Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam. So, Shravanam is listening to the Guru with a proper concentration without deviating the mind. And we have to perceive the inner meaning also. And usually, gurus doesn't say anything directly. They give clues. We have to solve those clues. That means when we listen to them with concentration, with full focus, then we will be able to understand the inner meaning of what is said to us. Mananam should go on for sufficient time till one is satisfied enough that he has not left off anything to understand. Mananam also involves thinking of pros and cons of what has been said, questioning in one's own self to understand all the possible aspects of what has been heard. This should result in comprehensive understanding of the subject that one has heard. Mananam is also a part of yoga. Yoga is divided into 8 limbs. A mumukshu should follow all the 8 limbs of yoga in order to attain yoga siddhi. They are yamam, moral discipline; niyamam, observances; asanam, postures; pranayam, breathing techniques; pratyahara, withdrawal of senses; dharana, concentration; dhyanam, meditation; and samadhi, that is enlightenment. Yamas and niyamas are the moral codes or right way of living. Yamam refers to moral vows, moral disciplines, or moral practices that are primarily concerned with the world around us and our interaction with it. Yamam is divided into 10 sub-limbs such as ahimsa, non-violence; satyam, truth; asteya, non-stealing; brahmacharya, celibacy; aparigraha, non-greedy; astikya, maunam, that is silence; abhaya, bravery; asangam, non-copulation; lajja, modesty. So, yamams and niyamams are the moral practices in our day-to-day life, or the moral disciplines that we have to follow in our day-to-day life. So, the list that I have read out, that is ahimsa, satya, asteya, that is non-stealing; brahmacharya, aparigraha, non-greedy; astikya. Friends, I could find out meanings for all the words except astikya. If any one of you know the meaning of astikya, please do ping me. And then maunam, that is silence; abhaya, bravery; asangam, non-copulation; lajja, modesty. So these are the things that we have to follow. The second limb, niyama, usually refers to duties directed towards ourselves, but also be considered with our actions towards the outside world. The prefix ni is a Sanskrit verb which means inward or within. So niyama, the first set of the things like ahimsa and all, they are all yamams, that is our behavior with the outside world. Yama is like our disciplines in relation to the outside world. Niyama is like the disciplines that are for ourselves. So ni is inward or within. Niyamas are classified into 10 sub-limbs such as shaucha, cleanliness; achamana, sipping the holy water; snana, bath; swadhyaya, study of spiritual texts; ijva, madarchana, tapa, meditation; japa, repeating the mantras in silence; santosha, happiness; tirtha seva, to serve on the banks of rivers. So these are the set of instructions that have been given to us for niyamas, that is those are related for our inner discipline, or like to develop ourselves inwardly. Though various asanas are available, one has to practice them according to their comfort. Practice yoga on a haymat covered with deer's hide, often in a tidy and noiseless place. Meditate on Paramatma and perform pranayam to cleanse the mind. Victory over mind is accomplished if pranavayu or breath is controlled. So we can have a victory over our mind only when the pranavayu, life force, we call it as life force, or it can be breath. So when we are able to control our breath, then we can definitely win over our minds. So, and to control the breath, pranayama is the best solution. If we do pranayam, we will have a control over breath. Once we do the pranayam, we can start meditating for some time. The life force and mind are like two horses of a curricle. If one is controlled, the other one is automatically withdrawn. So the life force and mind are like two horses. So if one horse is controlled, the other horse will be automatically controlled, right? So this way they are comparing it to a mind and life force. So if we have the control over breath, then the mind will be automatically controlled. That is, it will be drawn inward. Control here is drawing everything to inward. Like this is the aim of our life, right? We have to draw everything inward. Now I shall expound the method of doing pranayam. Inhale through left nostril, hold the breath for 16 seconds and exhale through right nostril. Repeat the same procedure and vice versa. If the breath is held for 8 seconds, it is called kumbha. For 32 seconds, it is termed as puraka, and for 16 seconds, it is known as rechaka. Body is purified by practicing pranayam regularly. The nerve system gains energy, and hence a yogi becomes a nirogi, that is without any ailments. There are two types of pranayam, sabija or sagarbha, practiced with mantra, and nirbija or nigarbha, practiced without mantra. So here Dattatreya is defining how to do pranayam. So we have to take breath with the help of right nostril, and then we have to exhale it to the left nostril. In between that, we have to hold the breath. And if we hold the breath for 32 seconds, then it is called as puraka. For 8 seconds, it's called kumbha. And then if we hold it for 16 seconds, it is rechaka. So here Dattatreya is saying that due to practice of pranayam, our body consumes a lot of energies that it will become free of ailments. That is, a yogi becomes nirogi. That is what he is saying. Once the pranavayu or life force is under control, the senses should be withdrawn from the materialistic world. This method is termed as pratyahara. Dharana is to unite the mind and the soul. To still the agitating mind needs lots of practice, and the process of making the mind still is called meditation. 12 pranayamas is equal to 1 pratyahara, and 12 pratyaharas is equal to 1 dharana. 12 dharanas is equal to 1 dhyan, and 12 dhyan is equal to 1 savikalpa samadhi. Once control over the mind is attained through Ashtanga Yoga or 8 limbs of yoga, read the spiritual texts regarding Paramatma and then perform mananam. So, Dattatreya is saying that we have to practice pranayama. Like in the previous chapters also, we have seen that pranayama and then pratyahara, that is withdrawal of senses from the materialistic words, and then dharana is like focusing on one point. So and then meditation. So if we focus on one point, naturally we will go into the mode of meditation. So after doing these things, like now the mind is under control. So start reading the spiritual text. If the mind is balanced, we will be able to understand it in a better way, right? So he's saying that you do all these things and then read the spiritual text regarding Paramatma. And then after reading them, perform mananam. That is remembering what is read. Continuous practice of mananam is also called as dhyana or meditation. So if we are remembering continuously whatever we have read about Paramatma, it is also called as, this is mananam, right? So it is also called as meditation. Mananam is also called as meditation at some point of time. Savikalpa Samadhi is the initial temporary stage of Samadhi. The conscious mind is still active as the kalpa or imagination, and vikalpa means against imagination. Vikalpa leads to the truth, releasing one from the bondages of mind, which are usually imaginations. Though we endure the blissful state in Savikalpa Samadhi, we are still attached to the body and materialistic world. Sam means together, a means towards, and thi means to hold. Thus, Samadhi means to acquire integration. So, if we do meditation, the initial stage that we acquire is Savikalpa Samadhi. But this is a temporary stage, friends. Here they are saying that we are still, even if you have experienced Savikalpa Samadhi, we will be attached to the body and the materialistic world. That is, we will enjoy the bliss temporarily. So this is the initial stage, but it is a temporary stage. So here Dattatreya is saying the meaning of Samadhi. That is, Sam means together, A means towards, and Thi means to hold, which means to acquire integration. What integration? The integration between the mind, body and soul. That is Samadhi. Savikalpa Samadhi may also be referred to as Sampragnata Samadhi or Sabija Samadhi or Nididhyasam, which means deeply meditating on what we have heard and reflected. If Aham Brahmasmi, I am the Brahma, is imagined unremittingly by discarding the ego, pride, anger, jealousy, it is also known as Savikalpa Samadhi or Nididhyasanam. So continuously if we imagine that I am the Brahma, I am the Brahma. So we have to do it continuously by disregarding or by discarding the ego, anger and all. So then also we will attain the stage of Savikalpa Samadhi, and this is also called as Nididhyasanam. Nirvikalpa Samadhi is the end result. So the final stage is Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Kalpa means imagination, friends. There are two more kalpas or imaginations, wishes or other products of mind, because the mind is fully under control. Upon entering Nirvikalpa Samadhi, the differences we saw before have faded away, and attachment to the material world and all karma is dissolved. All awareness is withdrawn step by step from the physical, astral and casual bodies until self-realization or oneness with the soul is achieved. So, Lord is saying in a Nirvikalpa Samadhi, like we will not have any imaginations, wishes, we will not have any wishes also, and the other byproducts of mind, because the mind is fully under control now, which means control is nothing but balance, friends. There's nothing that we can control in this universe. Nothing is in our hands, so we can only balance everything. So here mind control is like balancing the mind. When the mind is balanced, when there are no wishes, when there are no imaginations, then we will enter Nirvikalpa Samadhi. The attachment to the materialistic world and the karma will also get dissolved, and awareness is also drawn from the 7 bodies. Like we have 7 bodies, I think you know this. So our awareness from the 7 bodies is also withdrawn slowly, one after the another. Till now we are aware of those 7 bodies, right? So all the awareness from all the 7 bodies is withdrawn step by step. That is from the physical, astral and the casual bodies. And then oneness with the soul is achieved. So till we have the attachment towards our body, till we have wishes, till we have imaginations or desires, we will not be able to unite with the soul. So once we discard all these things, but it's not so easy, friends. It takes time. So it happens only through great practice, that is practice unremittingly. If we practice unremittingly, then we can achieve this state. So once everything is dissolved, even the attachment towards body is dissolved, then we attain the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, which is the final stage. Here Nirvikalpa Samadhi is nothing but we get united with our souls. Actually, initially every one of us is actually an enlightened being, but we are stuck in the Maya and we have forgotten about our soul. We have given more importance to the materialistic world. We have given more importance to the attachments. We have given more importance to our emotions. So this way, we have left giving importance to the soul, and we have left giving importance in realizing ourselves. So when the mark of the mind is removed, then naturally we get united with the soul, and that is called as Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Vikalpa is without any imaginations. During this process, breathing is ceased and the heart stops beating. Aware and fully conscious oneness with soul is then achieved in a most loving way, and cells of our body are flooded with ocean of divine love and bliss. Being fully functional in this world, awareness stays in connection with divine. The consciousness is occupied with Soham, meaning I am that is, identifying oneself with the universe, and the mind is reflected as Aham Brahmasmi, I am the Brahma. So once we get united with the soul, the cells, there are millions of cells in our body. They all are filled with divine love and tranquility. There is no deviation of mind. The mind has become still. Each and every cell of our body has attained the divine love, and that reflects in our eyes too, friends. If you can observe Sai Baba's eyes, they are twinkling like stars because he's radiating light through his eyes, because every cell of his body is radiating the divine energy which is in the form of light. That is why they have the twinkling eyes. So even if we attain the Nirvikalpa Samadhi state, we would become like them. That is, every cell of our body attains divine love. And then the consciousness says that Soham, the consciousness is occupied with Soham, that is, I am that. I am that is what? That is Parabrahma. And then the mind is reflected as Aham Brahmasmi. I am the Brahma. The mind doesn't know anything apart from I am the Brahma. So the mind has united with the consciousness, right? That is why it is saying that I am the Brahma. As the gemstone Surya Kantamani blazes fire in a cotton swab, in the same fashion the reflection of mind gleams and evinces the Nirvikalpa Samadhi and extirpates itself. When the agitation of mind is exterminated, darkness and the reflections of mind are liquidated, thereby illuminating the soul. The eternal bliss endued through illumination is indescribable, and it cannot be reached through mind and utterance. As the ignorance is destroyed by ignorance itself, Chitta Vritti, agitation of mind, is helpful in describing the quintessence of Brahma, and eventually the yoga practitioner attains Brahma Sakshatkaram, the final phase where the contemplated truth becomes the reality or is actualized in a very real sense. And the one is face to face with reality, and there is no iota of doubt of what one is experiencing, which amounts to acquisition of real knowledge. So here, when the agitation of mind is terminated, then the darkness of the mind is also liquidated. When darkness is absent, naturally the soul begins to illuminate, right? And then the ignorance is also destroyed, friends. So agitation of mind, that is Chitta Vritti, is helpful in describing the quintessence of Brahma. So here again, if we can observe, they are saying that the agitation of mind should be terminated. However, because of that agitation of mind only, we are able to describe the Brahma, that is the nature of Brahma or the essence of Brahma. So again, friends, do not hate your mind, because I was hating my mind a lot when I was ignorant about it. So once I realized that every entity, everything is in the universe is helpful to us in reaching oneness, I started loving each and every part of the universe. So I started loving my mind. I started befriending my mind. So here they are saying that only the agitated mind can be able to describe the essence of Brahma. See, if the mind is still from the beginning, what would we learn? Nothing, right? Because the mind is getting agitated, we are able to differentiate between what is divine and what is not. Here again, friends, everything is divine. But what I am trying to say is what is helpful to us in attaining oneness and what is not. We are able to differentiate between these two things only because of the agitated mind. Kartavirya, the one who has attained Nirvikalpa Samadhi, encounters certain hindrances like Ashtasiddhis, the 8 supernatural powers. A yogi should refrain from aspiring them and should assimilate that they cannot destroy his wisdom. So once again, Dattatreya is reminding, I think this is for the 3rd time, he's reminding that even though you acquire supernatural powers, you should not get attached to them and you should not boast about them. Okay? This is what he's saying. For the 3rd time, he is reminding us. When the mind deviates, it has to be indrawn immediately. A yogi should be ever vigilant and make his mind still without any agitations. Then he shines bright like a lamp and attains the state of Brahma. The ego, speculation and karma of such a yogi are evanesced. So once the mind is indrawn, so everything vanishes, right? Kartavirya, I have rendered everything about yoga and the methods to achieve Brahma Sakshatkaram without leaving a stone unturned. With the help of this divine knowledge, even you can achieve Brahma Sakshatkaram. However, the Yoga Vidya should be taught to the one who is pristine. So friends, once the mind is withdrawn, that person will shine bright like a lamp. So as we discussed, like the Sai Baba's eyes would be like twinkling stars, right? Because he has no mind, like he has balanced his mind. So he is illuminating. The same way, even if we withdraw our mind, we will illuminate like lamp. That is, we become the lights. In fact, we are the light beings, but we have accumulated all this unnecessary stuff into our bodies and minds, right? So we are not illuminating. So once we withdraw our mind inward, then slowly everything will be cleared from all of our 7 bodies. And then we will become the light beings. That is, our true nature will be reflected. We are the light beings, friends. That is our true nature. So that will be reflected by practicing the yoga that is being described by Sri Dattatreya. Let us all thank the Lord for giving us the detailed information about yoga, its effects, right? So thank you, Lord. Thank you so much. And one more important note, friends. Lord is saying that Yoga Vidya should be taught to the one who is pristine. Kartavirya was intensely raptured by listening to the teachings of Lord Dattatreya, and tears trickled down his cheeks. Even I am feeling the same thing, friends, really. He prostrated to Guru and said, Dattadeva, as the darkness is vanished by luminosity, similarly my ego and pride have evanesced with your oration. Other than serving your feet, I am not aware of different ways to efface the murk of the mind. Thy feet are pristine. They can expunge all of the maladies and provide prosperity. Those who wish to attain immortality have to seek refuge in your auspicious feet. Hence the Hansa, one who has identified himself as the Atma, and Paramahansa, enlightened souls, come from various places to seek refuge in your lotus feet to enhance their yogic wealth. So, Kartavirya Arjuna is saying that other than serving Lord Dattatreya's feet, he doesn't know any other methods to efface the murk of his mind. Only Trimurtis can know the efficacy of thy feet. Every being finds a solace in thy feet. I pay obeisance to your lotus feet. They provide tranquility, immortality, intrepidity, and extirpate the murk of mind as well as the discrepancies of life. As the rope is viewed as a snake in darkness, the universe is reflected as truth due to Maya. You are the sole refuge for all the seekers of enlightenment as well as the enlightened souls. You are self-luminous. You are the protector. You are the Sarvesha, all-pervading Shiva. You are pristine. You are eternal and an enlightened soul. I am glad to seek refuge in you by discarding my body, senses, life force, and materialistic life. The fire element is hidden, invisible form and does not possess any shape in the dry wood, but under friction it flares up, and when ghee is poured on it, it scintillates. In the same way, you reside latently in the Mooladhara Chakra as Para, the subtle sound from the origin at the root chakra, and enter as Pashyanti, the sound through and from the navel or the solar plexus chakra. In Manipuraka Chakra, you travel through Vishuddha Chakra as Madhyama, the form of sound as it is associated with the heart chakra, and as Vaikhari, the sound as it is expressed as speech or noise from the throat, tongue, lips, and teeth through the face. Shabda Brahma, transcendental sound of Vedas. My namaskarams to your glorious feet. You are the form of different kinds of sacrifices. You are born out of lotus, Abjayoni or Brahma. You are the Isha. You reside latently in the cosmos, and you are beyond dualities. So, Kartavirya Arjuna, he has become enlightened. He has come out of Maya and realized that Lord is abiding in every atom of this universe. So he wants to take refuge in Lord. He is seeking refuge in Lord because apart from serving the feet of Lord, he doesn't know anything else. So he has discarded the materialistic world. He has discarded his mind. He has discarded his body. He has discarded his wishes also, and took refuge in Lord Dattatreya. This is the ultimate surrenderance, friends. This is how we have to surrender. When we are able to surrender in that particular form, then we will also get enlightened. You are the Mahatma, great soul. You glister brightly in the whole universe, and the universe is absorbed in your being. You are visible in various forms on account of Maya. Hence, you have no discretion between numerous forms. You are matchless. You are the form of self. I find solace in thy feet. So he's saying that you are the form of self, that is Atma Swarup. The macrocosm enwrapped in Maya is a tree with merits and sins as its seeds. Desires are the roots, and trigunas such as sattva, rajas, and tamo are the cells. The dashendriyas, 10 senses, or the twigs, 5 elements, panchabhut, or the barks. The cortex of the tree is phlegm, air, and bile. Shiva and Jiva are the couple of birds that reside in the nest of the tree. A sansari gains the fruits of agoni from this tree, while the enlightened beings obtain the fruits of joy.